Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. It's just Dave here today, I'm afraid, no Kim. I'm still in the UK trying to get my big move sorted out to Thailand still. It's taking a little longer than I expected, but we'll get there eventually. So I wanted to make a different sort of video today, just to sort of help people out a little bit with car hire in Thailand. We have still got some videos in the vaults from our travels in Thailand that we made last year, but I'm just trying to spread them out a little bit and mix them in these sort of videos, just so I got time before I get back to Thailand to put some videos out there, and then we can start making some new content again once we're together. So the video today, car hire in Thailand. Well, in my opinion, if you're going to go to Thailand and you're planning on touring around a little bit, car hire is the essential thing to do. I know the country's well connected with many little national airports, and it's very easy to fly around, and flight prices are quite cheap. And you have minivans, buses, trains and taxis as well. But car hire is very good value in Thailand. Also, the gas prices are pretty cheap as well, so that makes it more appealing. And of course, when you're driving around in your car, you can go at your own pace and go where you want, when you want, at your leisure. And also in Thailand, there's quite a large range of different cars. You'll notice people like their big trucks, their Ford Rangers, their Toyota Hiluxes, and many other big vehicles. But personally, wherever I go, I always opt for the cheapest option, which is usually around a Yaris or a Honda City size car. And for me and Kim, that's the perfect size car. We can put our bags in the boot, have space in the back seat, and generally, they're comfortable and easy to drive. Now, when I'm booking a car in Thailand, I'm usually booking it from Suvarnabhumi Airport, although at times I've also booked them from Dong Mueang as well. I've started using an app called Rental Cars. You can download that easy enough from the website. It's a price comparison app, and at first I was a bit sceptical about using it, thinking I'd be getting better prices going directly to the companies themselves. But after finding some really good promotional rates on the app, and then going to check them at the company themselves and not be able to find it that cheap, yeah, I was sold on Rental Cars. And it's a really easy interface to use as well, can't go wrong with it. Now, most of us will be arriving in Thailand through Suvarnabhumi, and the choice of rental car companies there is vast. You've got all your major international ones, plus a bunch of local national ones as well. If you're using the price comparison site, and a little sceptical about which company you're using if you've never heard it before, well, don't worry. I think I've used 8 different companies from Suvarnabhumi, and I've never had a problem with any of them. That's including the big ones, like Avis and Hertz, and small little national ones as well, and they've all been fine. The only difference you're going to find in using these different companies is going to be the size of the deposit. Deposits I've paid have been between 5,000 and 10,000 baht. Now, another difference you'll get with these companies is just going to be where the pickup location of the car is going to be. A lot of these companies, at the car hire service desk in the arrival terminal, you can sort everything out there and then, and there'll be someone just to walk you outside and your car will be waiting for you. A couple of the other companies, I know Avis do this, you do an initial meet and greet at the airport, and then they'll put a minivan on for you, take you just 5 minutes around the corner, where they'll have the main office and the car pickup point will be there. Now, you'll probably have already paid for your car hire rental in advance when booking, but there's going to be a few things you're going to need when you pick up your car. Of course, you're going to need your passport. They're going to want to see that with your visa stamp in it. They're going to want to see the license from the country you came from, in my case, my UK driving license. They're also going to want a credit card to take the deposit amount off you. And also, they're going to want an international driving license. Now, that is important. If you're from the UK like me, I think most post offices, or most decent post offices, you can get one. I think they're about £5. You just need to take a passport size photo with you. And in my experience, I think the lady behind the counter has filled out the form for me. I've given her the photo and the £5, and she's given me this little international driving license. So once they've taken copies of all those documents, taken the deposit amount off you, you're good to go. Of course, like other car hire companies, they'll want to sell you excess protection. It's not too overpriced like it is in the UK, but if you want to take something like that out, there's loads of online retailers that will sell you car hire excess at a much, much cheaper price. Now, I don't always have excess protection, and the one time I did have a problem, I think my deposit was 5,000 baht, and I remember them giving me my deposit back and only charging me 2,000 for the damage, so I was quite happy about that. And of course, like in most places, you'll have your breakdown number if you've got any problems. And if you want to extend your contract, you can call them directly as well. I've never had any problems with anyone faking any damage when I've gone and dropped a car back off. If anything, I quite like having a fairly beaten up car, because at least when they're going around to mark off the points on the piece of paper where there's a dent, if there's a dent in every panel already, I'm not really too fussed about when it comes back, because the piece of paper is already marked up on every panel. But like every time when you're hiring a car, you should be checking, as well as the staff members checking when you look around the car, and taking photos or a video for your own benefit. One of the most important things to look for when you're hiring a car in Thailand is to make sure that the vehicle logbook is in the glove box. This is something you're going to need if you ever get pulled over by the police. This document just shows that the car is all in order and has the insurance it needs. And also you're going to have to find out if it's a petrol or a diesel. And in Thailand, if it's a petrol, you've got a couple of choices. There's an E20 and a 91. Find out if it's an E20 or a 91. If it's the former, then that's well worth knowing, because it's a little bit cheaper. Now, like I said, driving in Thailand can be daunting if all you've seen is the craziness of Bangkok. But of course, you don't need to drive into Bangkok. The majority of the roads are well signposted in English. The highways are big and wide with plenty of lanes, and the smaller roads also are easy to navigate. Now, there are speed limits, believe it or not, in Thailand, but you'll come across everything from the slow tractors doing 10 kilometers an hour in the fast lane, to the supercharged Hondas speeding up down the slow lane, or hard shoulders doing 120, 150 kilometers an hour as well. Now, my advice is just drive it to a pace that you feel safe with. The majority of drivers in Thailand, they are good drivers, but it's just a different culture there. They don't have the same testing that we do out here in the West. So you have to remember that in their eyes, they don't know any better. We may think that something's absolutely crazy, totally dangerous, but you've just got to understand where they're coming from and their thinking and driving. Now, as I mentioned before about the logbook, if you get into some trouble with the police or you get pulled over at a checkpoint, you're going to need to produce that most likely. Now, you shouldn't really have much trouble with the police. A lot of the police, if they see there's a white person driving a car and their English isn't very good, they don't really want the hassle themselves of having to communicate with you unless there's an absolutely major problem. But the times you will see the police are going to be checkpoints on some major roads around some towns and cities. If you are directed to pull over for further questioning, they're going to want to see your international driving licence. Now, there are instances where the police might try and shake you down for something. Now, this has happened to me in the past in Bangkok. I was coming up to a toll booth and realised I was in the wrong lane and changed the lanes at the last minute. I was not the only one doing this, but there was a policeman at the toll gate, and after I paid my toll, he signalled me to pull over and, yes, had a problem with me. The policeman told me that I'd have to collect my international driving licence from a police station in Bangkok the following week and pay a fine of 500 baht. Or he could do the paperwork there and then for me for a mere 1,000 baht. Well, this was the easier option, because the thought of going without my international driving licence for another week and running into the police again was a bit of a worrying thought, and there was no way I was up for driving into some suburb of Bangkok I'd never been before and trying to negotiate a police station there. The funny thing was with that, though, he didn't even take my name for the paperwork, but was more than happy to take my 1,000 baht. But stuff like that's really rare. Don't let that put you off. I mean, I've driven a lot in Thailand, and that's the only occasion I've ever had a problem like that. 99% of the time, the police manning the checkpoints, and sometimes the army soldiers are manning the checkpoints, are really friendly, always smiling, and were helpful if anything else. Well, I hope you found this information useful. I'm sorry it's been a bit of a bland video, but it's something I want to talk about for a while. I'll probably go over it again in a future video once I'm back out in Thailand. And also I'll be making a video about my plans on buying a car there and how I'm going to go about doing that, which I haven't really thought about yet. So to summarise, if you're heading to Thailand, don't be put off from hiring a car and driving around the country. It really is the best way to explore. Don't be put off by anything. Yes, there are some crazy moments, some crazy driving, but a lot of that is in the city centres. You don't really have a need to go and drive into city centres. If you want to hit the heart of Bangkok, the heart of Chiang Mai, you can park from outside in your hotel, your resort, get a taxi, a tuk-tuk into those busy areas. And also, if you're driving in Thailand, you experience one of my most favourite things about Thailand, and that's traffic light vendors. These people that are just walking up and down the rows of cars at red lights, selling you flowers, pancakes, donuts especially, lots of them at Lomstak are like that, and anything else that might be local to that region, so that's a little treat in itself. Okay guys, thanks for watching this video and enjoy your time on the road.